Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 172, March 4th, 2020. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by my best friend in the world, Jimmy Trammell.
Hey, Clyde, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. See, you've been
For the
upgraded.
bad voice.
Yeah, it's okay. I won't hold it against you, because you actually showed up. See,
yes, I did.
You were immediately promoted to my best friend because Mike decided he was going to go to Florida with his family. I mean, yeah, choose your priorities, dude. And then Matt, I don't know what's up with Matt. He's like somewhere over the Pacific right now.
Something about some anniversary or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, is it the anniversary of the Arizona? Tell him he's a couple months early. No, if you were here last week, you would know that Mike is at Disney World with his family, and Matt took his lovely wife, or his lovely wife took him to Hawaii. I'm not exactly sure which, but that's where they are. So it is me and Jimmy, and you know what? That is perfectly fine. It's been a long time since it's been just you and me.
And it has been. I'm trying to remember when was the last time.
It's at least 2 years ago.
A couple of years or so.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, rock on. You sound like you're having a great night.
Yeah, it's allergies is what it is. It's not the coronavirus. I'm sure people out there watching might be thinking that, but no, it's just allergies.
See, and I'm glad you said that because I know everyone out there is thinking, oh, he's so bummed to be alone with Clyde that he can't even like pretend to be excited.
Yeah, I'm allergic to Clyde. That's what it is.
Oh, I mean, most people are. That's why I'm here, and everybody else is someplace else. But hey, why don't we get into some of this news? We're gonna mix this up because I don't normally switch and read the stuff at the same time. But Wabbit, cue up that first article. So, Jimmy, you use Hulu, right? Regular Hulu?
I do the full-blown Hulu Live.
Okay. So do you watch FX on Hulu?
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, this week, that FX on Hulu hub thing launched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get this. I mean, some people have been confused and saying that FX and Hulu made a deal, but FX is owned by Disney. Disney owns Hulu. There's no deal. And I mean, ever since before the launch of Disney Plus, Disney was talking about anything that's not suitable for Disney Plus is going to go on either Fox or FX, depending on the maturity. And yeah, so.
Yeah, they're really hitting the commercials with that too. They're running commercial ads, even if you have the commercial free, as I do.
Oh, I haven't seen any.
You still see the commercials there for the FX on Hulu.
Really? Because I have not seen a single FX on Hulu commercial.
Yeah. Well, see, I watched the live television on Hulu, right? So rather than seeing some of the other regular network commercials,
I got you.
I'll see those commercials.
Okay. Right? I got you. I only use regular Hulu with the ad-free package.
Mm-hmm.
So have you checked out this new FX on Hulu hub?
Not since they started this campaign. I have
Okay.
watched FX before on Hulu, right?
Yeah, well,
Uh,
me too. That's how I've been. That's how I've been consuming Hulu stuff or FX stuff for the last few years.
mhm.
So I saw this pop. I saw this was available yesterday, and I clicked into it, and there's a whole bunch of old stuff. There was stuff like Terriers, which was a good show. I
Mhm.
enjoyed that. And but I didn't see anything compelling. I'm kind of waiting for that new show, Debs, which that's the real a sticking point for some people because if it's on Hulu or I mean on FX TV, it will be here on the FX on Hulu as you would expect, but there will be stuff like this new show Devs that will
That
be on
that
FX on Hulu, but not on the FX channel.
is that devs as in developers.
I think so.
Okay.
It's a new horror sci-fi show. All I know is uh, my spirit animal is in that show, so I will be watching. Ron Swanson plays what I think is a bad guy, uh, and that's Nick Offerman if you're not familiar. Uh,
Yeah.
but yes, yeah. So I guess if you want more FX and just finding the show wasn't enough, now there is a dedicated hub in Hulu for FX and FXX. So
Yeah. I mean, you think maybe it's just to try to move more people into buying that bundle package? I mean, I that's what I think it is.
I mean, yeah, I don't, I guess, but so rock on, congratulations, Disney. Jimmy, are you a Yankees fan?
I do not pull for the Yankees, but
Okay.
I
Do
respect the
do
Yankees.
you know any Yankees fans?
I do.
Okay. Do they live in New York State, Connecticut, Northeast Pennsylvania, or North and Central New Jersey?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
Okay. Well, good news for them is this year they will be able to watch 21 Yankees games on Amazon.
Hmm.
So just like they've been doing with Thursday Night Football, Amazon has gained the rights to broadcast 21 Yankees games for free if you're in one of those four states.
Hmm.
And Wabbit said he was a Mets fan. I was a Mets fan until Piazza retired or left or whatever. Now I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
So
so I take it that's 21 home games would be what they get to
I would
watch.
assume so. I don't think it said. It just says, oh yeah, 21 games in local markets might. Yeah. So um, I would assume it's home games.
Yeah.
But that might not seem like a lot, but as it says in this article, it represents Amazon's bigger push into becoming a sports streaming giant. So they've got Thursday Night Football and they've got the Yankees. Two things I will never watch on Amazon, but somebody
Yeah.
will, and I hope they get their use out of it.
Yeah. I guess that's a good thing to go for if you want to get into sports. Okay, baseball, football. I guess
Mhm.
maybe that's a logical two sports to go for. But where do they go from here? That would be my
Heroin.
question. I mean, do they go for NBA games, hockey games?
So you're saying those are gateway sports?
Yeah, and then maybe UFC or something like that.
See,
I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe. Uh, I would say hockey would be more of a gateway into UFC, or would no boxing would be a more gateway into UFC.
Hmm.
But you like watching them box and be like, you know what? Punching with your hands is so boring. I wish they could like kick every once in a while. Hey, guess what? There's this thing, and their ring isn't a square, it's an octagon.
Yeah.
What?
And once in a while, you get to see somebody choke somebody until he taps the mat.
Hey, you might actually see someone die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I've never really been into sports where grown men like grope each other and roll around on the floor, and it's not considered erotic. I
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, you know what else is not erotic?
What would that be?
The Roku channel and Pluto TV are teaming up.
Uh-uh.
So, as we have talked about before, Roku has their free service, the Roku channel, which is a lot like Pluto TV,
Mm-hmm.
in the fact that it's got free content. Some of it is ad supported, some of it's not. But Roku is now going to be able to get a bunch of channels from Pluto TV's uh, lineup that they didn't have access to before, like Comedy Central, BET, Pluto TV, MTV, Pluto, and yeah, apparently there's a Black News channel. That's literally what it's called, BNC.
Okay.
OAN Encore, One America News Network, America's Voice, another news network. So
Okay.
if you like Pluto but wish you could get more of that Pluto goodness in your Roku channel, you are in luck. Do you ever
And
use any of
speaking,
these?
I can't say how you use any of those channels, but I do watch Pluto from time to time. And I don't know if you've had a chance to check it out, but the new Pluto icon on the app looks, yeah, is much improved. They changed it recently.
Well, that is because if we go to the next story, they unveiled a major platform and user experience update. It's not just the icon; they have changed the entire UI of the Pluto app.
Mhm.
And I'm glad to see this now. I had kind of assumed something like this would be coming because Viacom bought Pluto a while back, and then they said a couple weeks ago they were talking about the new things they're going to be doing to leverage Pluto TV. Um, this is actually, it looks really cool. It's a bit more than I had hoped. So yeah, uh, if you haven't already, check your device. Uh, it should already be live on Apple, Vizio, and Roku devices. Um, and then the other stuff should be coming soon. I don't think there's an exact date for Android and Amazon Fire TV stuff, but
Yeah,
um,
I mean it's they're really building up quite a catalog of channels there for Pluto
well,
TV.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it helps now that it's Viacom and Viacom has content. See,
Right.
before Pluto was just kind of like, hey, we'll like play whatever you want if you give us some money and you can kind of make a channel. But I am still bitter that nobody out there made a 24/7 channel or a 24/7 Hypnotoad channel. Futurama could be now. All we are missing is that Hypnotoad channel. I would have that on all the time. But
Yeah, that would make great background, wouldn't it?
oh, absolutely. Well, you don't need a background when you're just staring at it.
Yeah.
I mean, Biocow. I assume that's a Hypnotoad gif there. Um, but oh, it's eyeballs. Never mind. That was on the previous comment about CBS. Um,
Yeah, I think they did away with the space guy though on Pluto. I don't think you see him anymore.
oh, gotcha.
Right.
So yeah. All right. Moving right along. Hulu, their live TV service is finally available on the PS4.
Wow.
So if you are one of those PS4 users that was using it to watch PS View, and when PS View went away, there were no options. YouTube TV came about a week ago, I think, maybe a couple weeks ago. But now, Hulu Live
So they
is
just, yeah. Well, I guess they had to have something there, right? Something to replace the PlayStation View.
mm-hmm. Well, and that was the thing is before PlayStation was very kind of restrictive about what apps they would allow.
Mm.
While the Hulu app was available on PS4, Hulu Live was not.
Mm.
Which makes sense because it was a direct competitor to their service, which they wanted you to buy. But so yeah, now there are options. You can get YouTube TV or Hulu Live on your PlayStation 4. I have a PlayStation 4 sitting right here, but it doesn't have any apps installed because
Mm.
I've got other things dedicated. Why should I waste space on the PlayStation?
Yeah.
All right, and then I guess there's another one after this. But have you ever heard of Altus?
The cable company.
Yes.
I have vaguely heard of them. I've never used their service, but yeah, I have heard of
So
them.
Altus is a French cable company apparently. But they bought Cablevision, which brought them into our market. Well, they are now their service Altus One is bringing its cable lineup to the Apple TV. So this might be something you might want to check out. So it sounds like this is going to be an over-the-top streaming service with a DVR on demand and a program guide. And then you'll have the option to select an Apple TV 4K as part of their Altis cable package. So I'm guessing this is an actual cable. Do you have to be uh, in their market to get this? Oh no, it says it's also added a $20 mobile plan, which anyone, even people who aren't Optimum or Suddenlink subscribers, can sign up for. So I don't understand. I'm guessing this is like the boxes that Comcast is selling. If you're a Comcast subscriber, then you can get the Comcast box to.
Well, they bought Cablevision, so does that mean that this type of service would be extended out to the Cablevision
Yes,
customers?
that's what it
Okay.
sounds like, and that's why it was
Okay.
like it was saying anyone or for the mobile plan, if you're not even people who aren't Optimum and Suddenlink subscribers can sign up for it, which I'm
Mhm.
guessing Optimum and Suddenlink are owned by Cablevision,
Right.
and that's probably their streaming or their cable. Uh, this one, yeah. All I know is Altus, which I had not heard of until recently. They are currently the fourth largest cable operator in the U.S. So,
I mean, they
um,
get some good perks in here, right? I mean, you get Amazon Prime Video with the service,
yes. Well, that's if you get the smart speaker, the Amplify,
right?
that comes with Amazon Prime Video, and then yeah. So I don't know if you're in a market that is served by Altus, then this might be something you're into. Um, if you're not like me, probably won't
Mm.
get any use out of this.
And
Also,
yeah,
I don't want to. I don't need an Apple TV.
Well, I mean, it is cool that they're using you know, a set-top box like, you know, a streaming device like an Apple TV for their set-top box, right?
Well, and I mean that's what Comcast was doing with their
Mm,
Android TV box, and
mhm,
AT&T is doing with AT&T TV
right.
with the Android box. I and the fact that this is a French company makes me not surprised that they chose to go with Apple TV rather than everybody else is going Android. And just like the way the French refuse to spell China like the rest of the world, they spell it Chine. Um,
Yeah.
they always seem to need to go against everything else. So
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Apple makes sense.
Yeah.
And then finally, we've got. Have you used YouTube TV at all?
I have not tried it yet. I'm very curious about it. I want to give it a try, but haven't as of yet.
So I use it. I use it basically to DVR stuff that I can't get on Hulu. That's pretty much the only thing I use it for. And one of my big complaints about it has been the fact that it records everything. So, like, if I'm coming into a new season of something that I watched all the previous seasons elsewhere, like, let's say Better Call Saul, I'm watching Better Call Saul now. Well, there was like 3 seasons that I watched elsewhere. YouTube TV doesn't know that. So initially, I had to deal with the fact that it would say, "Hey, there's a new episode for you," and it's old, like
Mm,
season 1, season 2. There was no way to go in and tell it, "Hey, I've already seen this,"
mm,
until now. So YouTube TV is rolling out a new feature that's been highly requested by subscribers like me. Um, we're getting a mark as watched feature.
mm,
I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. Uh, they mentioned that they were working on it back in December, but it sounds like it will be rolling out soon. So uh, I'm pretty sure that, like everything else with YouTube TV, it's going to be kind of convoluted to do it. But um, the fact that you can do it, I'm glad. Now, if I
absolutely.
could just get Hulu to let me do that, and Netflix, and stop putting stuff in my continue watching. If I only watch 10 minutes of it, I obviously am not going to watch the rest of it. So why is there stuff from like 4 years ago still in my continue watching? Oh, Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah,
we
I'm gonna have to give this a shot. You know,
yeah,
YouTube TV. Yeah, a
I
service that I definitely need to try.
I'm sure that there's somebody that might be able to add you to their family for trying
Right.
it to try it out.
Mm,
You probably know somebody that has it, or someone will come out of the woodworks and say, "Hey, you can be part of my family."
yeah,
Um,
maybe do a little service sharing there. I mean, I subscribe to Hulu Live, right?
mm-hmm. And you were talking about you were considering leaving.
I have been, yeah,
Yeah,
and I still might, and this might be one of the services that I leave for it. You know, after I check it out, right?
yeah. So I mean, keep us up to date on how that's going, because
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
still on the fence about going back to Uverse, right?
Um, I was considering it,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I still enjoy my fiber service I get from AT&T.
Yep. Yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I was
but
consider.
isn't Uverse their cable TV?
Oh yeah, I never have had AT&T cable.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's what.
just their internet
Oh,
service.
gotcha,
Right.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, but before AT&T, I was with Comcast.
Oh, okay, understood. Well, maybe you should go to try out satellite. I hear that's a booming market right now. They're desperate to get people to sign up.
Yeah,
You
it,
could probably get a
not.
10-year contract for like $100.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, when you live in Hurricane Alley like I do, it's not a good idea.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then you've got DirecTV with their exploding satellites that are threatening the
Right,
planet. So,
right.
and on that note, you know what isn't threatening the planet?
Do tell.
Our amazing patrons.
Oh
The
yes,
people that, despite us coming and annoying them every week, they still choose to support us with money.
yes.
You know, I may not understand the logic, but I am grateful, as are we all. So,
We all are. Yes,
all of
absolutely.
you that support us every month, bill is coming. I promise there will be a bill soon. So, but thank you. And if you're not currently a supporter, but you find value in what we do, this is patreon.com/the VOD Squad. Uh, you know, what was the new the new slogan we had? We may not be a good investment, but we're better than a bad one.
We're better than a bad one.
Yeah. So,
Perhaps more true today than it was
oh, absolutely. I
a
mean,
little
if you
while ago.
figure the 3,000 shares of Helios and Matheson that I bought, that is literally worth nothing. That's $30 that could have gone to support uh, even a couple months of Showbot or something equally awesome. But no, I took it and I threw it away. But it's okay. So we've got a little bit of extra time today because there's not so many people talking.
Sure.
I wanted to have a chat with you and check in because you are our resident Apple expert,
Yep. That I
and
am.
you are the only one out of all of us that signed up for Apple TV Plus,
Correct.
and you've been using it for about 4+ months now.
Since November 1st.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how's that going? How's the experience been?
Well, I mean, you know, here's what I would say, right? Is that the shows that Apple TV Plus has are, you know, top quality or at least high quality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all their marquee shows, you know, the morning show, See, For All Mankind, all of those shows were really good. And there's a couple of them I've not watched. I've not watched the scary one. I forget what the name of it is. Anyway, I don't know. The name of it is just
Okay.
slipping my mind at the moment. But anyway, there's one I haven't watched. Um, but but you know, the big question is you know, how much more content are they going to add? Right? Because right now, not enough content. If I had to make the decision today to continue my subscription past the free period of 1 year, I probably wouldn't subscribe today
Okay.
because not quite an, or at least I'd probably do it like this. When those shows that I liked that I watched when the new season would come out, I would subscribe long enough to watch those shows,
Okay.
and then I unsubscribe after. Right.
See,
Um,
I
but
have.
I mean, there's still time. I mean, they're going to add more content as it goes.
Yeah.
So still, and because of that, because they don't have all the content yet, um, uh, it'd be hard to say that you would subscribe to that, other than when the new seasons come out for the shows that they have now.
Yeah, I have a feeling that year free year is on purpose because that bought them time
Hmm.
to where people aren't going to complain too much of the fact that there hasn't been anything new in months.
Hmm.
And right at the point where everybody's like, okay, I'm done, I'm gonna check out, that's when the next wave of stuff's gonna come and force people to, oh, fine, resubscribe.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I could see myself doing that too. You know, at least for the first
mm-hmm.
couple of months or so to see the new seasons of the shows, because the ones me and my wife, I mean, a lot of the critics didn't like see all that much, but I quite liked it. My wife, that was probably her favorite show of all the shows
Okay.
there to watch. Right. Um, the morning show I thought was, um, you know, one of those kind of shows that kind of makes you think a little bit. Um, puts you into, those office settings, to where there's political stuff going on. There's other uh, uh, motives going on in the office, that, and I won't talk about it too much in case somebody wants to watch that show,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, but it was a well done show, right? And the actors, the quality of the actors in it. I mean, they Reese Witherspoon, um, Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, all those guys, they're high quality actors, So it was really well done, and would make you pay attention, would make you like, oh, okay, I got to watch the next episode now,
Okay.
So they would hook you in on there.
Now, Wabbit pointed out there's that new show, Mythic Quest, we talked about last week.
Yes.
That's coming. That is the first thing that Apple has announced that I've actually kind of sort of been interested in.
Mm,
But I think I'll just wait until it comes to Netflix.
yeah. Well, I'll save more for rants and raves, because that is my rant and rave.
Okay.
And
So I let me ask you UI. So I guess when it launched, what was your initial impression? Do you think it was well thought out, kind of clunky? I've heard people kind of
well,
all over the place.
yeah, well, I mean, so the big thing about an Apple TV, sorry about that.
Hmm?
So the big thing about Apple TV is they want you to use the Apple TV app, right? And so as you start to watch shows, they line up in your Apple TV app,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, the what to watch, what's up next, that kind of thing. And when the new episodes uh, are available, for the particular show you're watching, it'll pop up there and say, hey, there's a new episode there now.
Okay.
So the UI is pretty good. I mean, I like it, but maybe it's just because I'm used to using an Apple TV.
Now,
And I will say it's, and if you just went out and bought an Apple TV and you started using this, you would see some things that are very similar to other apps, and other platforms, similar to like a Roku or something like that. But then you'll see some things that are, just kind of unique to Apple TV and kind of how it works. I mean, the UI is a nice UI, and there's a lot of nice little slick features on there that you can do
mhm.
that maybe you don't see like on a Roku or something like that. But the UI for Apple TV Plus, yeah, I think it's, fine, and I like it. But take that with a grain of salt, because I am used to using
Mhm.
an Apple TV all the
now,
time.
now,
Now you may not get that same experience if you're using an Apple
yep.
TV app on something else other than an Apple TV,
And that's
right?
what I was going to ask. Have you only used it on the Apple TV, or have you had a chance to try it on a different platform?
Yeah, no, I haven't had a chance to do it on a different platform. Although my LG TV, I think it downloaded
Okay.
the Apple TV app, right? I haven't tried it there yet. Hey, what? That's a good experiment, though. And to
Yeah,
tell you what I'll do is maybe over the weekend I'll try it on that just to see what the difference is, and then I'll try to report back next week.
yeah, cool.
If
Yeah,
I notice any
I'm
difference.
interested because I know there's sometimes it's the same exact like when I use I use the Amazon app on my Roku, I go into it, it's like just having a Fire TV,
Mm-hmm.
which is part of the reason I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am not a fan of that Fire TV layout.
Right.
But that's just me. Whereas other things are not unified like that. So would you say that on the Apple TV Plus app is kind of integrated into the OS? Is it more, or is it like launching into its own instance?
Well, the Apple TV Plus is integrated into the Apple TV app,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, okay.
So that's where you see it. You
Gotcha.
see it in there, right? So so it's all integrated there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one kind of cool thing about the Apple TV app is that not only does it do the Apple TV Plus stuff, but it'll do like the Amazon Prime stuff. It'll integrate that in there. If you subscribe to other services like CBS All Access, it'll integrate those shows into there. Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
it'll integrate those shows into there. So then you kind of get that. Yeah, but I mean, it's no different than what you see like on Roku, right? Because Roku has the same thing with the Roku channels, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of. So if you're used to Roku and using the Roku channels, it'll have the UI. There's differences in the UI, but but it'll have that same kind of thing where it'll keep that list of things that you're watching, and it'll integrate with all those channels that you have in Roku. Pretty much the same is what you'd see over there.
All right. Yeah. So, and then, have you noticed have they made any changes or tweaks that is noticeable to, let's say, the UI or the watching experience in the last 4 months? Or is it still feel like pretty much what it shipped with?
Still feels about the same, but one thing I will say about the experience, um, if you have a 4K Apple TV,
Mm-hmm.
as I do, and you have a 4K television, the fidelity of the shows are phenomenal. Probably the best I've seen on any service.
Okay.
Right? Um, I don't know how they do it, but it just seems to pop more when I'm watching one of those shows on the Apple TV. Right? I'm not. I'm sure it's got to be in the software somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
it certainly. I'm trying to think of another service that might come close. Um, maybe maybe some of the shows on Netflix, perhaps the 4K Netflix.
Well,
That might be fairly close, but even then, I would say the Apple TV shows on the
the
Apple TV it gives you the best fidelity.
the one oh so in that specific scenario, this is the one thing where being the manufacturer of the device and also the company that commissioned the work
Mhm.
works out because then you can they can settle on a specific codec and then dictate that everything must use this codec because
Mhm.
if you're going to watch it in whatever, and we know the hardware and you can put it out there, whereas with the Roku, it can be one show can look great, one show could look crappy. It all depends. You don't know what uh, what you're going to get as far as compression and because everybody's free to use whatever codec they want.
Mhm.
That was one thing that we were talking about a couple weeks ago with the new open codec that
Right.
is finally going to be going into effect, which should resolve a lot of that. But yes, it pains me to compliment Apple on anything, but every once in a while I have to make concessions and say they do have an advantage there because you know it's a dictatorship.
Yeah,
And so,
well, I mean,
while not everything is great under that dictatorship, but the trains run on time, right?
right. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, it has always been that thing, right? You know, do you want a great end-to-end experience? Okay, well then, yeah, and if it's one company controlling that end-to-end experience,
Hmm.
typically you'll get a better experience. However, what you give up is flexibility, right?
Yes.
So,
See,
um,
I'll take
so
anarchy over utopia any day.
So, it just, which one's better? I mean, there's not a right or wrong answer to that, right?
Hmm.
It's just, it's just a matter of preference.
Yeah. See, they claim to be really good at doing things, and most of the time, that thing that they say they're good at doing, I would disagree. But here's one thing that I'll say, they have there is actually an advantage to, but still, I'm not, I have no interest.
Yeah.
So,
And
um,
and Wabbit, just to clarify that, yeah, uh, I'm not saying that the Roku app looks the same as Apple TV. I'm just saying from a functional standpoint, they're similar.
no, he was asking, have you seen it? Is it similar? He was curious if you had experienced it at all, and you said no.
The Roku app on
Yeah.
Apple TV.
No, the Apple TV app on the Roku.
Oh, on the Roku. Oh no, I haven't. I haven't
Yeah.
done that. I have my Roku still plugged in. Occasionally, I'll watch something on there, but the thing is, the Roku that I have is not 4K, and the Apple TV is. So I get to where I need to get a 4K Roku box is what I need to do,
Hmm.
right? So and then I'd have a more fair comparison there.
Yes. And never mind. I was gonna make a. I assume BioCow and Wabbit are smart enough to pick up the analogy I was making. Um,
Yeah.
but any other thoughts before we move on? Uh,
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the ecosystem, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, especially if you get a year for free, right? You should give it a shot, at least for that first year. But at the
yeah,
end of the day,
but then
it
I
comes
have to
down to,
buy an Apple product, and I have a Apple free household.
well, I thought you had one exception there. You have a offspring that
Well,
uses an Apple,
they have iPads for school,
right?
but they are
So,
still on their old Galaxy phones at the moment.
so then
Be-
maybe you could download the Apple TV app and at least give the Apple TV Plus a shot.
well, I don't want to pay for it. Is what I was saying.
Well,
I don't have the ability. I don't have the option for the free year. Is what I was saying.
oh, the iPad didn't qualify.
No. That's from school, and they had them for like they're given in like
Oh,
fifth or
okay, got
sixth
you.
grade.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Okay.
so no. So yeah, that's an educational
Yeah, you'd have to
account.
buy an Apple product, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, I
not
mean, you
like.
could buy an Apple TV, right?
Yeah, I kind of don't want to. It just feels so dirty.
I mean, you could buy one. You could buy one pretty cheap, refurbished, actually.
Yeah, we'll
And
see.
I think you still would qualify for the
Oh
free
yeah,
year.
probably. But still. Uh, then I have to create an Apple account. I don't want an Apple account. So, yeah, we'll figure this out some point.
Yeah, well,
Um,
you could create the account and say I hate Apple at yahoo.com or something, right?
no, but then I create an account on Yahoo, and then immediately all my personal information is stolen.
Stolen, right? Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that makes me feel sad for my mom because she won't move off of Yahoo, and I. But all right. Anything else? Otherwise, we can move on to rants and raves.
That's it for me.
All right. Let's do some rants and raves. All right. So you teased it a little bit earlier. What do you got? I'm guessing it's a
Yeah.
huge rant. about?
No,
No?
actually, it's a small rave, right?
Oh,
So I'm only one episode into Mythic Quest. Right, I started watching that recently. Only watched the first episode so far, and I liked it. Right, I liked it, but you could tell that they didn't throw out all their best stuff in the first episode.
okay.
It's like they were holding back a little bit,
Okay.
right? And so, but just good enough, just funny enough to make you want to watch more, right? So that's what I got out of the first episode. They
Mhm.
are kind of going after, you know, a kind of a look and feel to something like Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
right? It kind of has that look and feel to it. Um, and but I did enjoy the first episode. The characters they got in that show are pretty good. You know, like I say, I don't think they did their best stuff in the first episode that I watched. So
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to more episodes because I think it's going to get funnier as it goes along here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna wait until it's this season's done. Or are
Mm.
they doing it week to week, or is it dumped all at once?
I think um, I don't think it's dumped all at once.
Okay.
But one good thing too, the episodes are only like 20 something minutes long,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
see,
So
I like long episodes because I feel like it gets something. See, that was my
right.
big complaint about the Mandalorian, was it felt too short.
Mm,
Um, both the length of the episodes and the season. Because if you're going to give us half-hour episodes, then we should get 20, at least 20 episodes. You know, you can get by with 10-hour-long episodes. You know, it's like one or
mm,
the other. So it felt rushed because they were trying to get it in a half hour,
right.
and also it just seemed the season was too short. But
Yeah. Yeah.
mm,
I am looking forward to the second season though. I did enjoy it.
I think it's the first. It's the first Star Wars thing that I would. Oh, I guess I like. I like the uh, Han Solo movie, but
Yeah. Well, they get a new one coming out in the spring or summer. The Obi-Wan Kenobi.
no, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. I don't care about the Star. This was the first. I think Star Wars property that I was in. I was okay.
Mm,
I went into it skeptical. I enjoyed it. Um, there was a lot of stuff that I assume was meant to be a wink and a nod, and it went completely over my head because I don't know anything about that universe,
right.
other than the jokes or the pop culture stuff. But
Right.
yeah. Um, but I will say there was a show I've been waiting 2 years, just about 2 years for it to come back, and it came back last week.
Mm.
Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode. I was so excited. I watched the first episode. That was about a week ago. I haven't watched the second episode.
And they're all there though, right?
Yeah,
So
because I went. Uh, somehow, I'm hoping it gets better, but somehow they took this thing that I absolutely loved and turned it into something that a behind the scenes of last year's Formula One season was way more compelling, and
mm.
I ended up watching that instead.
Oh
Um,
wow.
which is it? I guess I could say a rave is my that other show, the Formula One, Drive to, what is it? Drive to Survive or whatever. I don't remember.
Mm.
Um, I like that show
Oh, yeah.
because then I don't have to actually watch the races. I get the whole season recapped in like 8 episodes, plus all the
Right.
uh, background drama, and then I get to laugh at Daniel Ricciardo who I can't stand that guy. 2018 season, if you watch season 1, he spent the entire season when he was with, I think he was with Red Bull. Or no, not Red Bull. It was Red Bull. But he was complaining about the Renault. Renault engines are terrible. The engines are terrible this year. All just whining and crying all season about the engines being terrible. So at the end of the season, they switched to Honda, and he said, "Yeah, I'm leaving the team." And then he goes to race on the Renault team. It's wow. What? You've just been complaining about Renault all season. Now you're on there. You want to drive their team? That was at the end of last 2018 season, and then I knew he didn't do well in 2019 because that season's over. We're getting ready to start 2020, right? And I got to watch just how miserable his season was and laugh at him because that guy.
Wow.
But I like Formula One. It's even better when I don't actually have to sit and watch the races. So, alrighty. Well, I think that brings us right about to where we need to be for a proper episode within the time restraints that we set arbitrarily several years ago, but we never stick by. Yeah, we usually do a pretty good job, but thank you for joining me and fighting through the pain.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, and I know everybody else does. And thanks everybody for joining us this week. If you're watching this after the fact, like the numbers say that people do, you should consider joining us live, because this is where the fun happens. You get participate in the chat, and you get to ask questions and correct us, and also you get to submit titles, which we are going to be voting on here in a second.
Absolutely.
So we'll do that in the post show, which also you only get to participate in the post show after the fact. That gets cut out for the library content. So yes, guys, stick around for the post show and head out to tvs.showbot.tv and vote on your titles. And with that, Jimmy, you got anything you want to plug?
No, just going to try to take care of my voice here the next few days, and hopefully next week I'll sound better.
You do that. All right. We'll see everybody next week. Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.